important. And welcome again, out of love, out of understanding. Yeah, okay. Um, Today we're gonna be talking about a lot of good edifying stuff here. Okay. First thing, subject: live a life of truth and order and evidence. Because a lot of times we go to church, we go to all of these places, we ask pastors, prophets, evangelists, ministers to pray for our behalf. But a lot of times, these things do not change the habit of what we already established. Okay? And the reason why I say that is because most of the time, right? A lot of, well, not even most of the time, majority of the time, when the church is dead, right? When the church is dead, what normally happens? What normally happens when the church is dead? The spirit is dead. So there's only two spirits as far as the influence of what takes course in our lives. You have one, the Holy Spirit being of Elohim, right? Being of Yahushua, Yahusha in him, Elohim Adonai, right? But in Yahuwah, everything is, it always was. Then you have the second option. And the second option is what? Spirit of religion and all the entities that know, right, the word of our Father. And they know the laws, they know every cross link, every dimension, every aspect of the rules and the regulation of the spirit and how things take course and effect. Remember I told you guys in my previous videos, if you've been watching, how devils, demons, and fallen, they affect us. It's like you have to understand that between us and everything that we do, it's a bridge. If not a bridge, then a door. You have the key to the door, but it's for you to know if you have the key to that door. And that's the reason why the eldest son, who is Yahushua, Yahusha, right? In him Yahuwah, Elohim Adonai, right? He is here to hold our hand and guide us into that memory, into that reflex of being able to understand truth, confidence, faith, hope. Truly. Because it's through him he vouched us that we are worthy to walk. Not that we can't walk without him, but that he doesn't have to hold our hand because we are fearful. He's here to help us let go of the fear. He became our perfect example. Alright? Being a perfect example means that you're walking upright. You're not walking down right, down left. Definitely not down left. You know? So he became the condition, the embodiment of the conditions that our Father had left on this earth for his expectations. So when we realize, right, exactly what we deal with, and some people they're not aware that yes, we are not too different from Christ. That's why he came. He came so that we can be like him. That's why he told us that everything that he does, we should be able to do that times and more. Listen to my words carefully. That's why
Loyalty is important, trust is important, understanding is important, hope is important because without hope, you won't have faith. Your faith will be
dead as well. When you have confidence in your hope, who's your hope? What type of hope do you have? When is your hope? Where is your hope? Hope is what? The possibility of something being or not. So when you have no hope, you can't even
you can't even think of the you can't even think of it existing.
you can't think of it existing in such a way that can be beneficial to you because you don't even think that it could possibly be you. You don't give it power to have influence in you. Let me put it like this. The difference between inanimate objects, right, organic and non-organic things, right, is that organic things deal with matter that are living in such a way that can reproduce, that can move, that have a thought pattern, that have a sequence of effects that can be optional, which can be suppressed, expressed in such ways that can move forward, backwards, up and down, right? Or all around. Non-organic, or you can say inorganic matter, right? Can do the same thing. The only difference
Is the separation of energy. One can store energy, right? And use that energy
to bend, to move, to jump, to basically be the interval of all things within the water itself. And the other cannot do any of that unless the force is applied to it. Where on the behalf, we are the force. We are the living force.
because we were given that command to be a force.
We are a phenomenon, right? That occurs in this world physically in the, you know, after, not even after, in front of, or yeah, yeah, on the stage, right? That's probably the best way to say it. On the stage, right, where we don't deal with inanimate objects. We're not we're not behind the stage. We are in front of the curtains. My apologies. We are in front of the curtains. In front of the curtains. We are in front of the curtains. We are the embodiment of this world's phenomena because we apply force from energy. We are literally the reason as to why things cycle. Because first, without people, the earth wouldn't even need to exist. Because everything needs
A hierarchy.
it has a monarchy, it has some type of potentialist right order. Everything has an order. It can be through words, it can be through thoughts, it can be through light, whatever the case is. And if you repeat exactly what I just said, you're gonna understand exactly what was said. Okay? So everything has an order. And if everything has an order, that means what? If the animals, right, did not have, if, well, let me just revert back a bit, right? If there were no humans on this
This
earth,
earth, humans, right?
if there were no people,
If we
did
then
not exist, there would be too much animals, there would be too much plantations. And imagine that those two things
run out.
have be no nature. There won't be a cycle. If you understand the true meaning of single, the
The concept of singularity.
right, you'll understand that singularity works as one, meaning you need one to have the other. Because even through mathematics, concepts of mathematics, right? When we do 1 plus 1, it's supposed to give us 2, right? But then when we look at the
physical physiology of
like how things play, 1 is technically 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? 10 times, 9 times, 8 times, meaning it's one of itself stacked upon each other. That's what singularity is. So you cannot have 10 without 1 because 0 is not actually a unit. It's not a measuring unit. It doesn't exist. It's a counterfeit. It's a place, a digit that holds a space to categorize a specific depth of something in its displacement. I want you guys to put this in your mind somehow. It's like taking one. You can literally use all of those ones to create this whole finger, right? Then algorithms, right? Create sequences. They create sequences so that now that one, if you apply it with another one, but that has a different effect, meaning a different numerical digit, right? Like let's just give it a pinpoint. Like let's say that 5, right, has a whole bunch. Let's just say that the number 5, right, in a certain dot has a negative 5, has a negative 20, right? So we know that negatives are beyond are no longer positive, right? Meaning it passes 0. So 0, I told you, is not a unit of measurement. It passes 1. So it takes away the 1, but it's more so the mass itself. Imagine it like this: having an object, having a finger like this, and having a finger like this. And this finger is the origin, right? Original finger. But the density of this finger is being replicated onto this, meaning this
finger is the original, but because it's the singular finger, right? The energy takes to bounce from one
side all around the entire world to become another finger, it creates a negative image, which then now looks exactly identical to the original finger. But this
finger right here.
right? But this finger right here can go up and down, left and right. This finger right here can only have an up and down, can only have a left and right. So this is phasing between dimensions on how fast the speed of the electrons or energy, right, is being moved and shifted to this, negative number. But it's still this. This hasn't changed. This can change. Do you understand what I'm just saying? All right, let me put it like this. When we think about Yahuwah, right, think of it like this. You have an autonomy, right, or an anatomy. My apologies. You have the anatomy of one solid figure, right? That is like a mirror that bounces off beams of light off of itself. It being the light itself, and the, and it's just going back and forth, meaning the exact same element is down creating fractions of itself in miniature sizes. So, like an ant, right? Apologies, I feel something in there. Nope, there's nothing in there.
But like an ant
To us humans, the ant does not know the difference between a tree,
and us.
but yet it will still climb on us. It will know that there's something there that is alive, but it won't know what type of alive creature it is because the precision of its perception is altered. It's altered. So what allows it to live in the specific
Space that it lives in is the actual
life of what is residing in? So like I told you, the one finger, the second finger, we are like the negatives. And the reason why I'm gonna tell you we are the negatives is because our father is like the positive. And this is the reason why. The positive, right, creates, it adds on. Yes, the negative can attract, positive can push. But the positive is what adds on more energy. The negative attracts the actual, how can I say it? Higher density, less, well, higher density, less mass. Meaning what? The more elements, right, that are being applied physically, that are being put together physically, is what creates a mass of a solid figure. It can be even liquid itself. So we have the anomalies of this concept, right? We have the anomalies of this concept, right, where all of these things are being tied up together, they're being pushed together so that it can create
an object.
Mind you, when we have an electron, right, things can move quickly. A lot of times, electrons, we have always what, positive, we have a negative. But what does it the most
Arm. Is it a positive?
or the negative? Like when we measure the amount of energy that we can physically see or
Or that we can measure, right? What is usually being shown? Is it the negative or the positive?
so if negative is what we can physically see, that means what? Physical objects not only attracts itself because of those negatives,
Energies.
but it creates
A fortress.
a fortress to store that energy to keep its shape, and a positive to describe exactly what could be of its potential. Does that make sense? It's like having a positive on the outside, right? The positive keeps the inside of whatever object warm. It's like, yeah, like a warm water bottle or something, right? When you can bend the plastic of the bottle, it's because it's that's what its properties are. It's bendable, right? But when you add warm or hot water in that bottle, what happens to that bottle? The bottle shrivels up. It becomes even more mendable because now you can feel like if you were to touch the water itself, you will burn your finger. But if it's through a layer of something, the heat is
Contained
contained
within the bottle.
and the cold is outside, which keeps both environments stabilized. Okay? I hope I didn't say too much here. These things are very important because we need to understand the balance of how things operate. We're losing a lot of track on life. Oh, snap. My apologies, guys. We're losing track on life, right? And we're forgetting.
The difference between lies and truth.
Imagine that lies, right, are some type of play around things, right? There are portions. Like I was going to use numbers, right, at first, saying that if you have a negative 50, right, the negative 50 play counts on angles rather than the positive 50. So now everything is angled out. You can make any shape you want, but there's no depth in reality to that because at the end of the day, it's going to cancel each other out. It can play both sides, but there will need to be other integrated, my apologies, inserted numbers that can. So imagine it like this: if two lines were symmetrical, right? You have one negative 50, one positive 50. If there was a positive one, right? This line that is positive 50 will go slightly like this, meaning it's still symmetrical,
but the edge of whatever is a.
Subtracting it will give it a different figure.
So we're both looking.
Looking at the same symmetrical two lines, but it's still the same thing, like as of the original one, but it's just because of that one that's in the middle, and it's a positive, right? Well, the positive won't be doing that. It's mainly the negative that's going to be doing that. My apologies. It's the negative that's going to be twisting like that, but more so inward, because I can't. I mean, unless I do it like this, but it's going to be doing it inwards. So the only way that it would be doing it would go in that direction is if it's in the opposite direction. But the positive would be in the opposite direction rather than inwards and outwards, right? So and not only that, the one that's a positive that's not strong enough of a magnetism of a magnitude field to attract the negative 50 to its
This direction.
does that I hope please I hope I'm giving you guys something here for you guys to understand. Like in a way that I can go on about it in a depths of like science that I could possibly give you guys, but there's no other way for me to really say this without having to stay on here for like hours and breaking this down and showing you sheets of paper. I'm trying to get you guys to imagine what I'm telling you so that you can picture it. So if there's
Two lines, a positive is
on
in.
this side of the negative, right? It would go this way, even if it's one. Well, if it's like 30 or something like that, or
I say a positive 10 will.
enough for the symmetrical line to curve them over like that, where it maybe the like the line might be like still facing this direction, but it's slightly turned like this a little bit, like 30, 40, 50, like that's a whole curve right there. Because I'm only basing these ratio of a magnetism to about maybe 10, so about 100%. So 1% is up to 100%. So that's how these things are compiled, because one is stacked up on top of each other, and this is the physical realm. And the reason why I say this, like my previous early videos, right, when I was giving you guys the terms of frequency and light. Light gives you the depths of something, and frequency gives you the construction, it gives you the obstruction of an actual figure. So there is compiled of the ones, and the light fills those one up by breaking it down, portion by portion because of its elements. Because mind you, with what frequency and light, what is given to it? The name, elements, right? So when we have elements, which is fire, water, right? Fire and water can do what? With no fire, water can turn into ice, a solid. With fire, water can turn into a solid. Boiling point, freezing point. With fire and water, it turns into gas. With fire alone, there's not really much that happens. Fire is always going to be fire, and water is always going to be water. But with water without fire, water can't even be cool. I mean, can't even be hot. With fire, it can only be higher. It can be less fire or higher fire. So what came first, water or fire? That's a good question right there for a lot of people to think about. What came first? Because of energy, right? Of electrons or some aspects of the proteins that create electrons, right? Are supposed to exist. What came first? Fire. And mind you, we're talking about the actual, we're talking about Christianity, and we're talking about Yahuwah, right? Where the depiction of Yahuwah is a light that is penetrating to all, right? What came first, fire or water? Because fire can be reduced, but fire is always still going to be fire. You see, it can be reduced, but water cannot increase fire unless fire is mixed with water and it creates a supplement of an element, right, to itself that can then now be added to the water so that the fire can conduce it, can either
subdue itself and not
increase or increase. It's not all the way around. Because if you do that to fire, what's going to happen to the fire? Gas. Okay? I'm telling you guys a whole lot. I really hope that you guys are paying attention. But we're going to get into the book, actually. We're going to get into the buy and bow. I want you guys to grab your buy and bow, your biblioteca, right? And then we're going to be in Psalms 112. All right? We're going to get this started because we've already been up here for 26 minutes.
minutes, and I've been explaining a whole lot.
All right? A whole lot. And this is very important because the things that we need to understand, we need to understand. Like I told you, magic is no difference to technology because it's all one and the same. Even what our Father do is not what he does, is literally the construct of what in the world that he made. What in the world? Yes, what in the world? That's the only way for me to put it. As what in the world that he made? It's a magical world. That's the only way to put it. And the reason why I say that is because all constructs that have been created, right, it's off an order, it's off a command. It's like if you're an engineer, right, and you write a certain command through, PowerShell or command prompt, right, it has specific registers that, applies itself to certain portions of your device to integrate something, right, that can possibly work a scenario and find if it's possible on your device. So these commands create alternative, you know, possibilities, infinite possibilities. I say alternative, but still doesn't really change much. Infinite and alternative possibilities. I said the word right. No, I said the word wrong, even though I meant to say alternative English. Alternative possibilities, infinite to two. It creates scenarios that can now that you have the higher brackets of the scenarios that can then break down into this because this element is that, this element is this element is that. When you add this element to this, it does that. So the cause to effect is a concept. It's an integer
It's an integer, right? A concept.
that can be applied to anything. And the reason why a lot of us are going in the worst road, especially when it comes to this world, is because a lot of people are trying to play God. They're trying to play. They're trying to, and I use the word God because that's the only way to describe these imitations. And let's get started. I'm gonna come back to that. Praise Him. I start. Praise Him, mighty ruler of Israel, and favor unto they that is delighted in Him, and whom that follows your commandments, Yahuwah. For they shall be mighty on the earth, and so is their generations to come, all favored in Eli's eyes. An abundance of wealth shall be of their foundation, and his fairness will always be well balanced forever. Okay? They shall also be the light surrounded by darkness, for they will be guided in the path of righteousness always. And all their affairs will be handled discreetly by the Holy Spirit of Elohim. Their memories and existence
Will remain by Eli's side
forever, and evil they will fear not, because evil was
unregistered off of their names,
for they trust
Yahuwah, with all of
their hearts. And all whose soul will reap fairly their judgments. You must give unto others for the kindness of your heart, and seek none but the good for them. Thus you will be honored. It's a life. For the wicked shall see your prepared table, and
their anger shall be made manifest.
manifested, and it devour them whole, for their wicked desires will engulf them to a never ending misery and destruction. And the reason why I said these things is because our loyalty. Everything that He's given us is in order. Everything Elohim has given us is in order. So when we follow His order, we are always kept good. We're always given everything that we want, everything that we need. We're given all of it. So understanding why He tells us the things that He tells us is because every commandment that He's given us, right? When we apply those commandments in our lives personally, in any scenario that we, handle our lives, these orders work in your favor in
Every level, and you will never be wrong. You cannot even fail.
you cannot fail. It's impossible. It's like legitimately impossible.
Possible.
It's legitimately
The impossible. You just cannot fail. You can't.
you can't. It's impossible. Like if I choose to say, "Oh, I'm not going to kill somebody," there's a lot that can come from killing somebody, murdering somebody, guilt, suicide, genocide, whatever that goes. Consequences, meaning cause and effect. That's why I broke down exactly the concept of reality and singularity because we're all in this together. Like the High School Musical, yes, we're all in this together. Da 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 da. Make our dreams come true. Yes, yes, we're all in this together. Okay, because I don't know what else to say. And we need the trees,
The plants, the vegetation.
to live off of what? Oxygen, right? We need to give them carbon dioxide. It's pretty clear that one person that you would not expect is important in your life, meaning everything else is also important in your life. So you can have an option. You can
Be responsible
for all of it and not still be responsible for all of it, meaning what you can handle is what you can handle, meaning what you're given
as
as
a
a
responsibility.
responsibility, and be a royal and actually take claim to your seat, or not bear with me, or you don't, right? And what comes with that? Nothing, because like everyone else, you're gonna catch that fire that everybody else is. They're gonna catch fire. You're gonna catch fire. I could tell you all about all of this stuff about your spirit, your mind, your heart, right? All of these things that I was given, right? But there's a time and a place for everything to be understood. Some things I just cannot say here because you have to understand the basics of what I'm telling you first. If you can understand the basics, it's like
Like going to school.
if you don't understand the fundamentals, the basics, how can you understand the higher levels? If you don't understand the basics, like on this journey that I've been and that I'm still on, my father had told me a lot of things. At first, I thought that, oh, you got to do this to do that. No, I did not know the basics. I'm still learning. Don't think because I'm telling you guys what I'm telling you. This whole I know everything. Woo, 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 woo. Like no, I I don't know everything. I'm still learning. Doesn't mean that I can't learn with you guys. I can't tell you guys what I'm learning. Now there's certain things that I'm not allowed to say because there's certain things that, like I said, you have to learn the basics first because reprobative mindsets and contradictions will come, and blasphemy will be a spirit of an influence, or let's just say an influence that will take hold of your life if you're not careful. That's why teaching, right? It's not. It's very important when people are teaching others to not teach people in the aspect of what they feel. I don't care how you feel. How well I see you. I don't care how I feel. At the end of the day, if I come in here to teach anybody anything that I learned, it's for you to understand that I came here to make sure that you understand something that I learned. Meaning, if I learned something and I was revealed something, it's for you to know that whatever I learned can help you. Not because oh you have to go out here and become like so you can make this amount of money. Yes, I could probably give you any insight about money, whatever the case is that I want to give out, right? But money is not the issue here. That's the reason why we're going to war still. That's the reason why there's still famine. That's the reason why a lot of people are getting kidnapped. A lot of people's kids and their children are still getting kidnapped. And all of these dramas that's happening right now is because of money. It's not because of people's no, because with if even if the dollar, the coins, or the the credits and all of this virtual stuff was not here, people still would be participating in competition of a lifestyle, following the trend. That's why I speak about singularity, because if you're meant to be in
In a certain place, you're gonna be.
if
If
you're chosen to be, you're gonna be. No matter what people do for you, no matter what people do against you, just do exactly what I did with my finger. Wave them bye bye. Wave them bye. Gotta hit them with the ooh, ooh.
oh, you gotta hit them with that.
Because
At the end of the day,
what is it gonna really do to you? If you know you're protected, if you pray and you're truly faithful,
well, where's your faith at?
they can talk, they can do whatever they do. They know one thing: they cannot touch you, and they were already given that order to not touch you. And if they touch you, it's gonna go against them. It's gonna go so bad against them that they know that if they touch you, they could possibly lose their life. And there are a lot of people out here walking that are straight zombies, where like they not they their spirit is not even in their body. They gave that up a long time ago. There are people that used to live that still live nowadays. Now we're not gonna get into that topic because it's not really important to be putting people's business out there. But I will say this: it's not my job to expose people unless it is, right? So it's not something to worry about, but it is something for people to think about. Okay, because there's a lot of copycats, there's a lot of doppelgangers, there's a lot of genetic, you know, mutations. There's a lot of copy copy machines, a lot of copy machines that look just like me, that look just like you. Now that's why you don't go out here just giving people your what the secret to your life. When I cut myself, what is it that is in here? Life. There's something called a genetic code, a genome code. That genome code is something that is a structure of your father's name. It's in you. It's a structure that is programmed to give you life, to repeatedly give you life, to repeatedly give you life.
Life, the structure of the helix of what when we talk about
Pillars, structures, everything has a foundation. Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm. A foundation. Why sound? What is it called? Not German. Piano. I think that's how you
I
say it.
think that's how you say it. I'm not sure, but yes, everything.
Everything has a foundation. Yeah, it has a foundation. So if it has a foundation, what makes you think that you're gonna escape anything? The command can literally say
Yeah, stand still, don't move nowhere. Ooh.
you're blind. You're gonna be blind. You're gonna be blind.
And who's gonna go against
Who's gonna go against the law that creates concept itself? Literally, even in the concept itself, the command of the concept is the order of the higher most. Is it you? Is it me? Is it anybody else? Is it the government? Is it those fallen? Is it those demons, those devils? No, not none of them. They rely on you. Understand that when things, understand that destruction might seem like a terrible thing, but you have divine order, right? And then you have not order. Because even in nature, destruction comes. And destruction, when it comes to nature, is usually
Call and considered what? A cycle.
when I'm gonna say this one thing for you guys before I hop off of here. There are conditions that have to be met for certain
And
things,
things to happen. Not that it can't happen.
but it's just a promise. So when those
Conditions
conditions
are not met, it will be forced to met. Rather than something, it's like saying, what would you rather have?
have, if you got a if you got like a D minus in the class and you grew up with colored colored parents or strict parents, they're gonna beat your behind. You bring home a C, a D minus, right? They gonna whoop your behind. They gonna whoop your behind. They gonna be like, You know for a fact you had no business getting a C minus. What was you doing out there smoking marijuana? I was smoking marijuana in school, outside of school, anywhere I really wanted, and I was still smart. And the only time I did not pass something is because I just did not go to the class. When I did, I understood exactly what I learned. Very much so. Unless
As I just did.
unless I was just too messed up to even put my head up to learn. And it was not a motivation for me. There was just some classes, my teachers, I couldn't rock with them. Couldn't rock with some of the classes, some of the courses. It was just like that. Obviously, I'm not, slow, but I do got issues, right? And my issues is not common. So I don't think of my uncommonality. I don't know the right word for that. My peculiarness, my strangeness,
To be quite common because
because we're all individuals and we have our personalities and our characteristics. That's why it's very important to love people because, especially when you're being yourself,
you can only be true. You can People can trust you. People can be loyal to you. You can be loyal to people and you will be able to trust people.
when people are, and this is
Where
where
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna start
start talking
talking
about
about love because I already passed the point of singularity, but it's still gonna involve some aspects of it, right? That's why it's important to love people because you're gonna be meeting, you're
you're gonna
gonna
come
meet
across people.
that you might even fall in love with in life, and you don't even know, what they're gonna do in life. They might have a whole plan of stuff. They might not. It's not gonna change anything. Your heart speaks louder than your words. When you get around somebody and then you start to feel afraid or you feel like you have to destroy somebody so you can keep that person only to yourself, that is a scam. You terrible for that. You terrible. Still, you gotta love the person though because hey, dedication. They dedicated to what they're trying to do. They're dedicated
Dedicated to what they're trying to do. But
but like what is anybody trying to say? Like, hey, I hate you? No, like no. When you truly are in Christ, you're not gonna hate nobody, but you're gonna let them know, like, hey, you need that distance. You gotta stiff arm their face, like back up, back up, back up. I was gonna say Ray
Charles. But then Ray Lewis was the word.
back up. You need that distance because you're doing too much. You're being a little toxic right now. You feel me? Like a lot of us, we need to learn that sometimes you gotta let things just be. You want to help somebody in a sense where you can allow them to help you if you want, if you need help. If you don't need help and you just feel in some type of way because you don't know how to, because you still need help, just talk to the person. Like legitimately, just talk
Talk
to
to the
the person.
person. There's no other way to say it. Talk to the person.
Talk to the person. You're married, talk to the person. Talk to your husband. Talk to your wife. Whatever the case is, whatever situation that you guys are going through, that's like I said in my previous video.
Out of my in
A
the
lot of my videos, communication is probably the worst thing that
people like misconcept because divorces.
you first get into relationships for the wrong reason.
They might think they're getting it
In a relationship,
for love, but then a lot of times they
in
get
a
in
relationship looking for love in all the wrong places, and then
they end up realizing that
at the later time that it was not the love that they were looking for, and it was just nothing but interest
in the facade.
that got them tricked to the situation that they're in. I would never want to be in a relationship and then
My
my wife, from the future, I don't know, right? She, not her, but the baby that she might put out, my kid that she might put out in this world, might be used as a hostage. I would hate for that type of situation to pop up. Like I'm all Christ like, right? I love kids, but personally, certain things I just can't rock with. Meaning, if my kid is going to be a hostage to anything, a lot of people will go down. Like, personally, I'm a Goku headed mind type of person. And I'm also a chemist, a physician, not a physician, a
physics mindset person.
physician, right? I understand concepts very easily. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not threatening nobody out here, but I'm just saying, like that's all I'm gonna put in the voicemail. Like, hey, you got like 2 hours to let go of my kid, and I'm coming to pick up the baby. As simple as that. Simple as that. And yeah, that goes the same thing with my wife. If somebody trying to kidnap my wife, now listen, if they're not gonna hurt her or do anything bad to her, and they just gonna ransom her money, I'm gonna tell that person to, if she, especially if she giving me a headache, right? I'm gonna tell them to hold her up for maybe an extra hour or two. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna take my time, eat a little breakfast. I'm gonna eat a little bit of breakfast. Um, I'm going to what else? Watch my favorite show. You know, um, probably drink some water. Or I don't really drink soda like that, but drink some water,
Water, right? Make my own little slice
whatever the case is,
or a smoothie, right?
and then
Come to her rescue.
I'm gonna be like, all right, because the longer I took, the more they're gonna have to reduce on that ransom. So like, I'm trying to be smart too. You gotta
Save.
save. You gotta save out here. My apologies. I know I'm being a little bit too. I'm doing a little bit too
Much
much
right
right
here,
here.
but yeah, and
Whoever my future wife may be, I hope that if she ever come across this video, don't take it personal. I'm just saying.
if you're toxic, please.
We don't, as dudes, we don't want to deal with all of that. Especially if you're trying to set us up and asking us all questions about your insecurities. Please don't think that
We care about you as people. You
not just me in general, but other men as well that are out here that are looking into whatever situations, or that are just being themselves, right? Or just being steady, or
know, staying in their place, right? When it's not their time.
or whatever the case is, right? You have women, you guys have to understand that certain things you just don't ask a man, because if a
A
man
man feels like
he has to lie to you, and And because if he tells you the truth and you can't handle the truth and he feels like he has to lie to you, you're messing up all the way. If you
even try to put him
in a situation for him to lie, you're messing up. Straight up. If you feel like 50-50 is a horrible thing, you're messing up. And the reason I'm gonna tell you is because, like I said, like I joked around the hostage situation and that money. I joked around that, but as far as the 50-50 situation, because I watched the video and I actually talked about it in my previous video, but um, if your man makes less than you and you're a woman and you expect him to still pay for
for
everything,
everything, you're terrible for that.
I'm gonna just let you know that off the rip. And men that think that you're doing something great because you're
Paying for everything, you are being used, my brother. You
you are being used. Simple. You're being used. At the end of the day, you can pay whatever, but
you know that literally you go out to a restaurant,
you spend $800 to $1,000 on food that you can
get the same recipes, same ingredients, everything
for less than $100. And if you already got the equipment and the utilities,
to your
awesome. Go and get it for next time, or maybe before it happens. Spending like $200 on utensils, artilleries, whatever the case is, right? And the rest, food that you're gonna make the exquisite meal. I think a home date, making meals together and exchanging it, watching 80s movies or something. I consider that to be a date. Having a smoothie, drinking from a smoothie, like stuff, little stuff that means quality time where people don't have to see you outside, that you're on a date, that you don't have to take pictures and be like, oh, I'm on a date because I have to dress like fam. Like, what are you doing? Women, what are you doing? Sisters, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you're literally just making
yourself look bad. And I
and I'm telling you that because, look, if you care about somebody, I've seen women when women
care about a dude.
right, that they are not afraid to express themselves. They do not care what that dude does, and usually there are those type of dudes are the dudes that don't that they let smash the same day, rather than somebody that care, that want to actually enjoy time with you, but they're not they're more than willing to spend money they probably don't even have because your expectations is on maximum times 10 to the third power, and you probably make more than him, and he's working an earnest job and you probably not. And if you are working an earnest job, you know congratulations to you.
But like you cannot be
Disrespecting men like that, doing all of this, you wear the pants in the relationship just
so you can, feminize a man.
like, please, demasculate a man, please stop. That's why a lot of these young boys out here, they're being very flamboyant. They're being
Very
flamboyant because of the females.
they're being very emotional in such a sense where like, oh my goodness.
She don't like me. I'm gonna kill myself and kill her. I'm gonna kill her and then kill myself. Like, fam, stop it, please, please, woman, please, sisters, please stop. All of that tough masculine energy, please stop it. Please just stop it. You're ruining your own relationship.
And then when dudes don't agree with that,
And you want to fight, you make yourself toxic because of that. And trust me, I'm not saying that there's no dudes out here that be messing up. The same way I'm talking to you because a lot of times I talk to the men. I talk about the men, even though I try to make it equal. But I'm gonna talk about them next. Please just stop being toxic because you're creating a toxic situation because of your pleasures and the what ifs of possibilities that exhilarates whatever has whatever kraken has been sleeping, whatever kraken that has been sleeping. You're trying to reawaken that. Please chill out, okay? I beg you, because for the sake of your own relationship, for the sake of your own integrity, and for a lot of women, like that don't understand sleeping around is not a good thing. I want you to get this idea. It's like a bottle of water. It's like a bottle of water, right? And this water, right? This water, I can hold the water, right? Somebody would not mind holding the water. But if I take my finger and I put it all in that water and just, and not only that, I just,
It's gonna be looking
quite horrendous out here. A lot of people, a lot of us guys would rather die walking in that desert with no water than to take our lips. Does that make sense? Your morals are very important because a lot of you don't think that we care. We care. We care so much that you wouldn't even understand how much we care. That's why sometimes a lot of women, y'all think that we're very possessive. And we're really not.
not. We're not gonna be like, oh,
Oh yeah, that's cool. Like no, we're not. We will not. So as much as I said, men, brothers, stop using women as a tool.
as if your money is the only thing.
Thing that counts. Oh, I can stop betting on trying to smash. Stop even thinking about smashing for real because a lot of us we're not even supposed to be worried about smashing when we don't even got the stability of everything.
Everything.
Some of us, we might not even have everything physically, financially, whatever the case is. And even if
If you
you do,
do, your spirit ain't right.
you have like 20,000 demons you're fighting and you can't even get rid of one. You create, no, don't forget, you create toxicity to your women.
Women. So when
You
you lie
lie to her and she end up figuring out that you lied. She will not let it go. You know how women are. For you to keep pushing those boundaries and pushing those boundaries and pushing those buttons. Stop pushing those buttons. Stop creating toxic situations because you feel
felt
like
like you
you
weren't
weren't
being
being heard. Like I understand, bro, but at the end of the day, we are men. We're not females. We're not equipped to be like them. We're not. That's why we're called in the ministry as leaders. It's not that women can't be leaders, but when a woman is a pastor, right? What happens when she get married? Is she still a pastor, and the husband is
the pastor's wife.
of the pastor's? Like, how does that work? No, the relinquishment of a title. He has to match her exact position. It could be financially as well. If you don't make more than a woman, that's understandable. Maybe try something else. If you don't have that option, that's understandable. Talk to her. Stop trying to make it seem like everything is good when it's really not. Just talk to her. Women are very understanding. They are very understanding, brother. Our sisters are very understanding,
Especially
especially
those
those
that
that
have a
have a
good
good heart. They're very understanding, and I'm not saying that none of them do, but I'm just saying,
how you treat people and how
how
you
you
come.
come off as shows your personality as well. Stop lying. Stop trying to one up your brethren as well, because that destroys friendships. So much to a point, your best friend, that's a male. he might try to smash your girlfriend that's not your wife. Especially those that don't know any boundaries. Know your boundaries. Show some respect to yourself.
Self.
Be kinder. Be more understanding. Okay? Um, I'm not gonna say too much for the dudes because I'm pretty sure they already understand what I'm saying and what I'm talking about. A lot of us guys we self-reflect in the mirror by ourselves. So a lot of you ask Christ to talk to you. Yahuwah, pray.
I'm not talking about just men.
And I'm talking about the women as well. Pray. Because if you went through
Trauma and
on both sides, if both of you guys, if both genders went through trauma, all this gonna be.
it's toxic situations.
But if one is healed,
All you're gonna do is bring situation that's gonna create a new toxic, traumatic situation. To now
it's like both of you are stuck in this place that you created for each
each
other.
other, and you don't even know how to heal from it. And then now old memories.
Memories are gonna come. You're gonna get attached to that. You might do something drastic. Statistics show it's usually the women. Exactly. Exactly. I'm not here to antagonize women or anything like that, but I'm just statistics show realistically always the women. All right, it's always the women. So we got to make sure that we
Keep ourselves.
in our hands to ourselves, men and women. I don't care if you don't be out here smacking a man, especially if you
Got his kids.
you out here smacking him,
Disrespecting him in front of public. You're supposed to have his back.
same thing with you men. I don't even tolerate certain things about kids. So I wouldn't even see a man putting his hands on a female.
I done seen enough of that.
Yeah. I've known people that I grew up with, family, friends, whatever the case is, you want to call
Call
it.
him.
I don't even play about that stuff. If you want to fight, fight somewhere I cannot see you, I cannot hear you. I'm not gonna get into your personal problems, but I'm gonna say this: if if it's
Something stupid.
bro, you're mad and you fighting, whatever the case is, it's something stupid. Yes, I'm gonna get involved.
If it's something not stupid, I'm gonna still get involved.
Involved, just to make sure that
Yes, things are understood because both sides do not
deserve that. The majority thing that
the mature thing that a person
you can do is give somebody
somebody's their space. Talk to the person.
when they start to be able to think better. Because all of this jealous stuff, all of this immature stuff, trying to plot against a person, the whole time you like the person, and you doing all of this sabotage, that's gonna come back to you. That's gonna come back to you, and that can make somebody that you actually like, that could be with you, a potential.
No.
Because don't nobody want to deal with that headache. Like I deal with spiritual attacks because for some reason I was picked for a reason on something in life. I'm not gonna talk about everything here, but I'm just gonna say I deal with certain things. I don't want things that I don't need to deal with to be added on my plate, especially when it's the worst thing that I ever even consider a good thing in my life. Toxic situation. Shit. Now that and it's worse if like there's anything gay related.
Where if it's the man or the woman,
That's gay. That like either if the man likes men or the women like women, it's worse. Because now that's it went from a situationship to an entanglement, and I personally don't rock with that. And I hope that the majority of you do not rock with that either. But fellas, I hope you really don't rock with that, because if you
you cannot maintain one.
women, imagine two. not one, not three, not four. You're gonna be in a life of misery because the women they're gonna talk. That's what they're gonna. That's if you don't think they're not, they're going to talk. You there or not, they're going to talk. They might even plan on your demise. But yes, so if toxic is something that anybody likes, distance is the only option. Separation is the only
Only
option.
option.
If you're not toxic, I don't think there's anything else I need to say in this.
In this video.
All right. On the side, she was there by me. No, by me. All right, all right. I think that's it for real, guys. My eyes are low key tired. I'm tired. Okay, I'm tired. So I'm gonna say love to you all. If somebody did not tell you they love you today,
I love you. I love you dearly. From the bottom of my heart.
my soul, my spirit. I love you with the love of I love you with the love of Elohim, our Father, right? And I love you in Christ. So in
Yahushua, Yahusha, in him, Yahuwah Elohim.
Adonai, I pray for your favor,
For which
wisdom, diligence, integrity, loyalty, and trust, strength, grace, and abundance in all things that is gifted unto you.
you
Pray for your protection, your guidance, the navigation of everything that you do.
do in your daily life. For the people that you encounter, those that is of good and those that is of bad. Because even those that are bad, they must come in our way so we can improve. Or they might come in our way in the past so that we can be in a better place now in the future.
I pray that Yahuwah be with you.
You
Turn that in your spirit.
in your mind and in your heart. Just follow the path, follow the guidance, follow the truth.
You guys have any questions, any answers, put in the comment section. Put in the comment section. Put in the comment section. Yes, I can actually sing. I just am not trying right now because I'm tired and I don't feel like it. 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 My apologies, my eyes. Alright, that's about it. And I'll put in that video.
Yeah.